Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. So, we've done a fair amount of stuff with American battleships recently. And some questions obviously were coming up, saying, okay, now that we have the tech tree split into the two branches, which one's better, the Montana or the Vermont? And a lot of people have said that the Vermont is just super powerful, especially when she's fully built up. So I figured, given that I also need to find closure to the Road to Montana series, we're doing a comparison. We're doing a maxed out Vermont versus a maxed out Montana. Now, as I've mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of American battleships. I just find their guns to be average, but let's see if I can be surprised with the performance with a fully maxed out ship. So let's begin with the Vermont. The Vermont has still the firing range elite bonus, but we are sailing with the historical camouflage. So that gives us 4% range, better dispersion, better torpedo damage reduction, and more hit points, which means we can actually use the dispersion mod in the first slot because we do have the better range coming from the camo. So we're going full on range here. I do have the propulsion mod in slot 2. Although once again you could use the deck protection mod. After playing around with it for quite a while, I have eventually decided to use the propulsion mod just because you do get shot at by things at tier 10 that can hurt you very badly, and things like Yamatos will hurt you very badly in this ship. So I have propulsion in slot 2, deck protection mod would still work, and steering in slot 3. On the Vermont. I have put George Dewey in here, the new premium legendary commander that has been in, I think, in a crate recently. And he's obviously custom tailored for this branch of the battleship tree. So let's see what he can do. He's got a improved torpedo alert, which gives us a 20% detection range. And he's got an improved air defense expert, which gives us 50% cooldown on this thing. Other than that, I have actually the survivalist because I don't need an extra precise aim. I've got generalist, and he gives us 2 precise aiming consumables from the precise aiming expert, which is actually more than you can use honestly on this ship. But he also gives us a better extinguisher. He gives us a better compartment maintenance. So this is a full-on tank build. I do have Demo Expert in here and the APCS, and he still gives us improved horizontal protection, which once again reduces the risk of fire on the ship's decks, and it gives us better deck protection. So with this skill set, she is actually really pretty tanky, and this once again is the reason why I also have the propulsion in slot 2, just to be able to try and dodge enemy fire a little bit if possible. All right, so APCS fully built up. That's the Vermont. On the other side of the ring, we have the Montana. And this is my final configuration I ended up with. But let's begin with the historical camo. Once again, it's I think the exact same thing. So we've got more hit points, better range, better dispersion, and better torpedo damage reduction. And the Montana has also the main battery mod 3 in the first slot, because once again, I see this as a ranged ship. I don't quite get to the point. I very rarely have a battle where I can actually be aggressive in the Montana, although I can do a little bit more due to the higher speed of this ship and just kind of reposition. I do have the legendary module for the Montana in slot 2. This is actually a combination of the regular damage control system mod 1 and the deck protection mod, because while it doesn't give as much bonus as either of them, it does give us both bonuses. So this thing gets 20% risk of fire, and this thing gives 10% fire and flooding resistance. This one gives 8% fire and flooding resistance with 15% risk of fire, and it also gives us torpedo damage reduction. So it's an all-round, really, really useful module for a damage over time tank build on the Montana. And then the third one is in the steering gear. There's no American commander who's custom fit from the legendaries for the Montana. So I have used William Halsey here, and we've seen Halsey before, but which also means I have to kind of not use one of his legendary skills, because I definitely do want the artillery maintenance and in here. But he does give us more hit points. He does give us an additional rapid reload, and he does give us an improved adrenaline rush. So when we're on low health, our guns reload faster. We do more damage after getting a medal, and we have the Angry Bull skill, which is unique to Halsey, which increases our shell damage by 10% when we are below 33% hit points. So this is a more aggressive build in the Montana, because the Montana is faster and doesn't have the same precision. But yeah, it's still an APCS-based build, so we will see how well and how hard these two ships are hitting. Right then, so far for the comparison, we've got 12 guns on each, 406mm versus 457mm. Let's go. This first battle actually sees a Montana up against a Vermont, because we do have a Vermont with a historical community enemy team. So I'm going to cut this one a little bit short because it's not particularly interesting. But the one thing that I really liked about this was, well, that it's Montana versus Vermont, and we're going to get into a gun duel. So I'm spawning here on the Atlantic map, and I'm not a huge fan of the Atlantic map because there's too many small islands on this thing. I mean, unless you're in a destroyer, it can get a little irritating, and it tends to take a while until you see something to shoot at. But I'm initially thinking that I'm going to orient myself towards the center and kind of take a more center position. But there's a Yugomo who seems to be pushing forward, and there's one of the cruisers which seems to be taking flank as well. So there's the Buffalo, who's sailing towards the eastwards flank. So I'm changing my mind here and saying, okay, if Buffalo and Yugomo are pushing this way, I'm gonna follow suit and see if I can lend some heavy gun support to these two, because once again, the Montana is actually quite a bit faster than the Vermont. She almost does 30 knots, and I'm not sure what the carrier is trying to do, but flying your fighters over a Montana and a Buffalo is not a great idea. You're not going to see many of these again. But we are spotted, obviously, from the air, and there's probably a destroyer around here, some of these islands, but that's the Buffalo's problem, not mine. I have something to shoot at over there. There is the enemy Vermont, and he's giving me a nice flat broadside. This ship's absolutely massive, so shots out. And this is probably about as far as I want to get to it. Just gonna slow down, see if I can duke some shells here. The Vermont is more, yeah, he's done minimal damage to me. The Vermont is more maneuverable than the Montana, but the Montana is faster when on full speed. And obviously with the rapid reload skill, which you usually want to trigger, I think about 6 seconds in or so, is you are going to get more shells down range. Armor wise, they look very, very similar. Once again, I'm actually slowing down here, hoping that his shells are going to miss. Yeah, it looks like they're mostly over penetrating my bows, but I am going to start repairing here, and obviously the Vermont has done that as well. So we're just doing a bit of a ranged duel here. Meanwhile, I think I'm not sure what the rest of our team is doing, but there's one battleship in center position, and our destroyers are kind of milling about there. The Buffalo is starting to take some fire, so he's going bow in wisely because he does not want to get hit by these shells. And yeah, the Vermont is obviously wearing me down eventually, but so far I'm doing more damage to him than he's doing to me. And he seems to be trying to reposition, so once again, shots out. I do have to keep an eye on the Buffalo. There's also Minnesota out there, but the Vermont is what I'm really, really after here. I'm doing some full pens, I'm doing some semi-pens. It's not, even with the armor-piercing cap shell, they're not particularly punchy. Okay, ducking under the next salvo of the Vermont and then slowing down again, just in case he's realized what I'm doing. I mean, he hurts, obviously, because he has the bigger guns, but I'm firing faster, so I think we're round about similar here. Okay, 2 semi-pens, and the Buffalo is, I think, once again coming under fire there. But he's good on health, so we can trigger the rapid reload. The Vermont has given up firing at us, but I think one of the other, the Minnesota was shooting, and he's kicked off one of my turrets, so I'm damage conning that. The Vermont is buggering off, and we've lost one of our destroyers, but it looks like the capture circle is... yeah, we're one ship down, but there's a destroyer next to our left here. Okay, Buffalo, that's your problem. Could you please? There's a destroyer right there, and you probably noticed because there were a bunch of torpedoes coming in. I'm gonna try and deal with the battleships, but if you could kill that destroyer over there. Yeah, we've just lost our carrier, I think, because carrier hasn't been busy scouting, but he's been busy to drop the battleships, which is generally not a great idea. And yeah, there's no way I'm gonna get back to base in time, and if I do, then Buffalo's dead here. So yeah, there's no way I'm gonna get back to base in time to kill a destroyer in this thing. So I'm just gonna keep shooting at the Vermont. I think we've lost anyway. Yeah, because the destroyers have broken through. We've lost one DD and our carrier. So yeah, that's game at this point. I just want to keep shooting at the Vermont over here, and to see which one of us has actually done better at the end of the game. And Vermont seems to be returning the favor, and he's still shooting at me. Note that I'm fully angled. Not that it makes a difference in terms of armor, but some of his shells are bouncing, and I'm trying to vary my speed. There's a Dmitry Donskoy over there that I would have to deal with if I was rushing back. Yeah, we've lost this one. I just want to see if I can kill the Vermont before this is over. Making yourself a smaller target is definitely a decent idea. And couple more shots. Can we get a couple more hits? I think Vermont is retreating at this point. He doesn't want to die. Not that it matters, because we're going to lose, because we're going to be capped out in a minute. But yeah, such is life. There come some more torpedoes. Whatever destroyer that is, I've never even seen him, but he's definitely behind us. Yep, there's one torp. That's why I'm moving forward, because Buffalo is not dealing with a DD, and we've got the Vermont, and we are still, I mean, with heal, we're still on half health. So it's definitely something that it's definitely not a duel that you need to shy away from necessarily. I mean, I wouldn't come into a close range duel with the Vermont, because I'm pretty sure that her 457 mils would be doing a reasonable amount more damage than my 406 mils. But yeah, Vermont takes the MVP. So even though he got sunk at the end, definitely doing a very respectable amount of damage overall. So let's see how we compare. And we're coming out almost exactly with the same amount of damage at the end. So I found this rather interesting just as a comparison. But let's have two battles individually. Now let's start out with the Vermont. It's actually double Vermont in this game. And we're playing Domination on Aurora. But the enemy team only has, well, it's got a Zao, it's got a Hindenburg, and another Zao. So double Zao, and Izumo, Lion, Kurfürst, and Yamato. No destroyers on the enemy team. We do have a Holland of our own. One thing I found, and I don't know if this is Asian server specific, but battleship players completely ignore destroyers around here. And it is really, really infuriating to just having to deal with destroyers all the time if I'm in a battleship. Look, people, if there are destroyers outflanking you and dropping torpedoes in your way, you have to do something about it. Even if you're in a battleship, load the HE and do something, right? All right, who have I got with me here? Zao. So we're going to head towards A Cup and maybe just poke our nose in here, but mostly I'm just doing fire support for the Zao. And I have these islands to retreat behind if I need to. Do have the range to probably hit anything that he can spot, and there are no enemy destroyers in the team. Zao has a pretty good concealment, so he should be able to get that cup without trouble, and Holland should be able to get B cup without much trouble as well. Obviously, the biggest threats on our cups are the enemy Zaos, so I'm going to lend fire support if that becomes an issue. I'm just going to park myself here between these two islands. I'm spotted, and obviously, so there's one of the Zaos around here, because I don't see them and they see me. But there's something spotted, and it's a Hindenburg. So let's begin with this one. You see we've got 6 precise aiming skills, so we can totally use these all the time. Hindi is in a turn. Is he in a full turn? Let's just get shots out, because there is one of the enemy Zaus. That means there's probably torpedoes in the way. And I think, yeah, we got some hits in on the Hindi. But obviously the Hindenburg has managed to chase our destroyers out of B Cup, but he's not going to survive that ordeal, not broadsiding to the whole to our whole team. So he's probably dead. And that Zao is sailing around the corner. There comes some Zao torps, and not unexpected. There's a lion, which we can shoot at. So yeah, I'm just going to stay in this position, but just keep in mind that there's a Zao that is heading around the back of the island. So we do want to be a little bit careful. And the lion is kind of sailing this direction as well. Nice, we've got a citadel. I'm not sure if he's trying to loop around. I'm not seeing the Zao. I just don't want to be here in case he starts rushing and dropping torpedoes. So we'll see if we can get some more shots out at the lion. This was the forward turrets. I can just lob them around over the island there. I need to lead a bit more, and I think I'm getting shot at by the Zao, because I don't know what else would be setting me on fire unless it was the lion. So just backing off a little bit. And that was disappointing. Yeah, no, there's the Zao. Okay, so he is sitting behind that ledge there. Yep, there he is. Now, he could have stayed there. He probably would have been undetected and try to set a permafire. But it looks like he's trying to get his torpedoes away. So we are going to just push him away. I mean, he's not threatening any of the cap circles, so he's not really doing anything that I'm super concerned about back there. So I'm just going to get some shots out at him. And then we're still in reverse, still orientating ourselves towards the middle, because so far we're holding 2 of the caps. The enemy team has lost 1 of their cruisers. That was the Hindenburg that has sacrificed himself in the beginning, which hasn't, as predicted, gotten him anything, because, well, we've just recaptured B once the Hindenburg was dead. Alright, that Zao has gone undetected, so let's find ourselves something else to shoot at. Now, unfortunately, there's an island in the way, so I don't really have angles. But there's one of the... What's that? It's the Kurfürst. What's he doing over there? He is trying to rush into a defensive position and getting shot at pretty badly by everybody. So let's get some shots out of that thing. Yep, some nice dents we made into the Kurfürst there. Obviously not easy to citadel that thing, but... I think he's going to be dead, and there's a broadsiding Yamato over there, so I can get some shots out on that thing. And then we'll just move forward again, because that Zao is still over there somewhere, so I don't want to run into any torpedoes. Okay, one of the... no, the Zao is actually in B Cup. Did he loop back around? It's always difficult to tell with these things, because you never know where they are. Because they can actually... I think Zao actually can stealth torp. So, yeah, okay. There's an enemy Zao. So let's move over there, and he's obviously captured, playing destroyer role because there are no destroyers in the game. The lion is still there, but the Zao is our primary target, and I don't think he's going to run into those torps. They're going to cause him to turn. So sorry, Yama, I'm just trying to get through here. Excuse me, too many battleships back here. Where are you turning? Doing a full turn? Okay, doing a full turn. So shots out. Don't worry about the precise aim. Yeah, and that was a half Zao gone. Don't worry about the precise aim. You've got so many of them, you can just keep using it. Okay, Zao and Zao. Our friendly Zao is a little bit running. Oh, there. Oh, that was the other one. Okay. I'm going to take 2 torps here, so it's unfortunate. We're going to take a flood. And we are going to have to do something about that, but first kill that Zao over there. Okay, flood controlled. Zao should be out of torpedoes, and obviously the lion is going to try and set me on fire, so I am going to rush forward a little bit. And he's not dead yet, the Zao, so let's... yeah, there comes one fire, and I think that was the lion or the other Zao that sits back there. But they're down to 3 ships, so there's really not much of a danger, even if I'm going to be set on fire here. Some more torpedoes, as expected. Yeah, that's why I'm moving forward. Okay, triple perma-fire from the lion. Not a huge issue. We do have a very good... we're not Montana level, but we do have a reasonably good fire defense here. So I'm just going to let those burn. Shoot the rudder off the lion in the meantime, which means he's going to Damacon. And yeah, just head down in this general direction. And now we're just cleaning up. Yeah, that lion is almost dead. See if we can get the kill. That one Zao is behind us. Nope, the Moskva takes the kill on the lion. And that Zao is behind us. And he's behind the island, so I don't think I'm going to get the turrets out on that thing. There's still the other Zao around somewhere here. Oh yeah, there he is. I found him. So I'm going to take one or two of those. And do have a Damacon ready for the flood, so that's all good. The Vermont has an excellent torpedo protection, so it's really not such a big issue to take a bunch of torps. And there comes some more torpedoes from the other Zao. I'm getting torpedoes left, right, and center here. Let's see if I can still find that little bugger and exact some revenge on him. Well, let's use a heal and no flood, so we're good. Otherwise, I would have probably out-healed that. And there he is. So swing the ship around and get some more shots out on that Zao. But yeah, this should be a Ruffle Stomp medal for that one, because we have defended pretty well, all in all. Get shots out. Let's see if I can still kill him. No, that was only 4 hits. It would have to have 5 to kill him. And I think the second salvo is not going to be making it there in time. No, it's not. But I would have killed him. Well, at least I got a nameless hero for my efforts, because I didn't actually kill him. But the Moskva takes the overall battle star, and we'll see how we came out at the end. Yeah, 96,000 points of damage. That's not bad. And yeah, that's what you can do in a fully upgraded Vermont. Now let's do the same thing in the Montana. Now I've got one more game in the Montana. And there's not a Vermont on the enemy team in this case, but we're playing Epicenter on Cage. And I picked this one because it's a little bit more dynamic, and we can see what the speed of the Montana, or how the speed of the Montana can actually be used. So we're up against Haku, Ohio, enemy Monty, 2 Friedrichs, a Neptune, and a Kiev. Kiev is probably going to go for the Center Cup, but carrier game obviously. Now, the Montana has a very, very good AA. I think the Vermont is a little bit better in this regard, especially with the defensive AA active. But we're going to move forwards into the outer ring and see that we can lend a early AA support to that Shima if he needs to. Now, Shima against Kiev, my money would probably be on the Kiev. So I don't think he's going to be particularly interested to make it into the Center Cup, especially not with a carrier around. But we'll move into the outer ring and see if we can find ourselves something to shoot at. Also, this is a slightly defensive position with that island there. And if the enemy team is pushing hard on this one, we have somewhere to go. Okay, enemy Montana is spotted. And I'm already slowing down because I don't want to rush out. But there's the Kiev. Now, obviously, the Kiev could be bad for the Shima. So I'm going to get some shots out at the Kiev for starters. Oh, there's the Neptune as well. Now, Neptune is even worse for the Shima, and Shima comes under air attack. So that's probably a dead Shima. I mean, command A for effort, but he seems to have survived. I'm trying to get a lock onto the Neptune and see if I can blap him from over here. While Shima is almost dead. So he has paid a high price for that move. Nope, very much denied on the Neptune. And enemy Montana seems to have run into some torpedoes though. So maybe it wasn't completely in vain. I'm tucked in against the island and see what I can find to shoot at. So there's a Montana, I'm bow in. There's a Kiev, doesn't have long range torpedoes. But obviously half the enemy team's over here. There's Neptune, Ohio is in the center. And yeah, the Montana is regretting his life choices over there, because I think he ran into some Shima torps. And I'm just dodging shots coming in from the Neptune and although Neptune doesn't hurt too much. Let's see if we can get the enemy Montana killed over there. Nope, he actually dies to the flood, perma-flood from the Haku. Okay, but still Kiev pushing, and Neptune is pushing as well. That's a very brave Neptune. So I think I may have to vacate this position, because there's more stuff coming around this corner. Yeah, there's double Freddy and there's the Ohio coming around. So I do need to get the ship turned around. This is gonna hurt, but okay, I think the Neptune hasn't been stopping, so second shot out blind. I do want to get away from that Kiev. Okay, there he is. Oh, he has been stopping, but it wasn't enough. Now he's reversing, so let's see if I can get some more shots out. But with Ohio out there, I'm not particularly keen. I do want to get that Neptune dead if I can. So just the rapid reload on the rear guns. Two salvos out. Damakon the double fire. Okay, that's Neptune down. And there's, yeah, Shima is dropping stuff, but I think he's spotted by Kiev, so he's probably going to be dead in a sec. Kiev, is he reversing? Ooh, that was a nice Duke. Not sure if he noticed that I was aiming at him, but he was reversing for a second, and as soon as I fired, he went forwards again. So that was pretty good. Yeah, it'd be great if somebody could capture the center, because there's actually nobody there. But I definitely need to vacate this position, and I need to. This is something you can do in the Montana that you can't do in the Vermont. I can actually run, because yeah, the Montana actually makes almost 30 knots in a straight line. Yeah, it'd be great if you could capture the inner ring, but I mean, I'll try, but I'll see what I can do. Yeah, Kiev has taken out Shima. Shima survived longer than I thought he would, so well fought there. And I'm just getting fire out at the Freddy. Oh, this is unusual. Citadel, I mean, it's a tier 9 German battleship, but still, they are usually pretty sturdy. But I am definitely making a run and trying to get away. No one's shooting at me right now, so I can just farm some damage. But I don't want to get into a close-range duel with even with a tier 9. And I am taking crossfire from things. The Ohio is the one I have to watch out for, because she's got the big guns. But we've almost worn down the Freddy, so I'm going to use another rapid reload and try to make my way out of there. Okay, Kiev is chasing. And he's going to try and set me on fire, obviously. So I'm going to get some shots at him. I am actually using the armor piercing because I don't want to switch at this point. Okay, somebody takes my gun out. I don't like that, so I'm going to get that back. I am running reasonably low on hit points right here. And yeah, it's also the Ohio shooting at me. Donskoy is bow in on things. You know what you should be shooting at? The Kiev. That would be grand. But I think he is, actually. And the carrier is doing his level best as well to help. Now I am on fire. And it gets a little crowded over here. And there comes some torpedoes, but I am still able to get another shot out at the Ohio. Get down, Mr. President. I want to sacrifice myself for you. Well, it wasn't quite voluntary, but yeah, Donskoy is now giving broadside to everybody, so he's probably dead. Yep, there he goes. I might be able to get another salvo out at the Ohio once I get around this island. But I am out of heals, because I have been fighting a rearguard action here for the better part of the last minute. Carrier is going for me, obviously. Nice Citadel on the Ohio there. I'm going to run as close as possible to the island, so he's dropping the torps too close. And yeah, it was the dive bombers, actually. I was able to dodge the torps, but the dive bombers were taking me out. So we are down to 2 ships, the carrier and one of our battleships. As long as the carrier survives, we are ahead on points, because we have been holding the 2 outer rings for the better part of this battle, because nobody's been bothering to get in there. Or I mean, I think the enemy carrier might be in there, but he is not actually capturing, because the friendly carrier is in there as well. When the carriers start capping, things are getting interesting. And Izumo is sitting there broadside on to an Ohio, and is not getting punished for it. There's no justice in the world. Well, so, all in all, I mean, I've done 102,000 points of damage, which I think is kind of what you can expect from a fully built-up Montana as well, just as from a fully built-up Vermont. You want to have more than 100,000 points of damage capability in a top-tier battleship. Which one do I like better? Neither of them. I really don't like these ships all that much. I probably would take the Monty just for the additional flexibility of being able to move around. Armor-wise, Yamato's hurt very badly. And if you make the mistake of getting close to anything else, they will hurt you as well. Vermont's guns hurt more than Monty's probably, but they're still not super punchy. Now, I really need to play some, to have something like a maxed out Yamato as a comparison. But personally, if you would ask me for like a long range dueling thing, I guess the Vermont is slightly better in that role. The Montana is a bit more the flexible moving around ship. But these are not ships that I personally enjoy very much. I would much prefer to go out in, say, a German battleship and get close up and personal with people. But yeah, that's what you can expect from a fully built up, maxed out Legendary Commander, Legendary Module, everything Montana and Vermont. So yeah, that's it. And hopefully this was the last I've had to do with American battleships for quite some time, because I definitely do want to get back to things that I enjoy a lot more than that. And that's it for today. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye.